Hey, welcome to the Mortgage Minute this week. We're going to be introducing a couple different topics today, as always. First one, following our federal election and new government being sworn in this week, Bill Morneau. That's a name you want to get used to and learn about. He's your new finance minister. He's regarded as smart and unbiased and a well-liked figure in the capital markets industry, according to the Globe and Mail report here. So we wish Mr. Morneau all the luck and success that comes with that position. There's going to be some interesting and challenging days ahead in the Canadian and the global markets, so he's going to have to steer that ship. In the meantime, we're looking at a CMHC report last week saying CMHC is optimistic about the general housing market, yet one of the chief economists, a high-profile economist, came out and said that he's warning there could be a housing market slump ahead in many of the Canadian markets. And, you know, whenever I hear this about Canadian markets, I'm always cautious because, as we all know, there's no such thing as a Canadian market. You can drive 15 minutes from where you are today, and you're going to have a total different housing market from where you're sitting. In the meantime, bringing it home to Vancouver in particularly, this was an interesting hot topic, is the amount of offshore Chinese buyers that are entering the market. There was a headline in the province. There it is. Headline in the province this past week saying that Chinese buyers are taking over the market effectively, saying that a groundbreaking study shows 70% of detached homes sold in a 6-month period on Vancouver's west side went to mainland Chinese buyers. The concern there is they're driving the housing market up, and logic would dictate it eventually this becomes simply unaffordable. Here's an article that, later that same week that basically suggests, or basically is telling us that Vancouver is now outstretching Toronto, and there's a huge gap. What you have is you've got an environment here in Vancouver where you've got mountains, ocean, U.S. border. There simply isn't room to grow, so the density increases when you have that amount of offshore buying coming in here. It's pushing house prices up. Specifically, detached homes continue to rise, some as much as 19% over the last year. Bringing it back to news in today's market, here's an article by Dr. Sherry Cooper that was released today, and if you'd like a copy of it, send me an email. I'll forward that on to you. And it basically, or you can go onto my Facebook or Twitter account. I've posted it there. Job strength means the Fed in the United States will raise rates. The Fed will meet on December 16th. Mark that date. That's important because they will raise interest rates. At the same time, key indicators in capital markets suggest pressure on banks to increase rates in the coming days. This is going to confuse people because on one hand, we keep saying the Bank of Canada is handcuffed with the economy and cannot raise rates. That's true. But then they say, wait a second, banks are going to raise rates in the next few days. Well, the thing here is there's two different rates. When you're talking about the Bank of Canada, that references prime rates, your variable rate, and they are handcuffed. It's very unlikely, even though the Feds will raise their rates in the South, that does not mean the Bank of Canada will raise their prime rate. However, the bond yields have reacted to the U.S. job numbers. The bond yields have gone up. When bond yields go up, your long-term fixed rates go up. It can be confusing. If you're not sure about all this and how it impacts you, please send me an email. But in the short term, if you're looking for those rock bottom, historically low rates, you got about 72 hours to lock those in. They probably, across the board, will be all up by probably Tuesday at midnight is my guess. Now, last but not least, I do want to mention that I do have a new position with TriView Capital as one of the vice presidents of TriView Capital. We are a private equity firm in addition to doing the mortgages. If you would like mortgage advice and mortgage rates, etc., please, as always, please send me an email and come to me. I'm more than happy to help you with that. But in addition to that, I would love to talk to some of you about investments, alternative investments, both in real estate and in the private equity world. However, some of these investments require you to be an accredited investor. So a good example is in this upcoming weeks we're going to be talking about a student housing project in Burnaby that I'm very excited about. But in order for me to talk to you about that, you must be an accredited investor. So send me an email if you would like to be put on a list and informed or updated about upcoming investment opportunities. I'm going to be creating a separate list just for those individuals who ask for that. So please send me an email. I'll put you on the list, and then you can get appraised of upcoming opportunities. In the meantime, we hope you have an absolutely awesome week. That's the Mortgage Minute for today. Thanks very much.